Okay, so Halston recommended that I watch this documentary called Naughty Books. It was on Hulu, and I did. And it was really interesting. I did not know how... I did not know about some of these subgenres of romance. Women are like avid, insane fans of romance, like they are of like pop stars. It was kind of crazy. I did not know that. Not that their behavior was crazy. I felt crazy that I didn't know that this existed. You know, it's like Comic-Con, but for romance novels. Where
are they in love with the characters or the authors?
Both. They're in love with the book. They are voracious readers. The authors in this documentary were talking about how difficult it is because the readers are like want a new book every 6 months, and you can't possibly write a novel in 6 months, and they just want it and want it and want it. And if you don't have it for them, they'll move on to someone else and forget about you. So it's a very kind of hot and cold industry. It sounds very intense. And, you know, there's one of the authors writes about rape in her books, that there's a whole series of books about rape fantasies where women actually want to read books about women getting raped, and that is a turn on.
I do not.
I don't either, but I was kind of fascinated by that because why would you want to read something like that? But I guess one of the women said something to the effect of women who have been raped sometimes have are turned on in the rape against their will. Like they don't want to be, but things in their body are happening, and then they have massive guilt about that. So this is one of the ways they kind of work through that psychologically. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. It's got to be a very tiny percentage of people who read these rape novels. But why would you want to be raped? I don't understand that type of sexuality.
But it sounds like, in a way, it's an extension of the domineering, dominant man.
You're right.
Exactly.
I think you're right. Just being absolutely controlled. So what is it in the female psyche? Because it is in the female psyche where we somehow, because we may not, the three of us in this room, but there are so many women who are wonderful human beings who have every right to feel the way they're feeling, who enjoy this as a fantasy. I'm not talking about the rape, but I'm talking about being dominated, being the silly woman who's rescued by a man. Or they wouldn't be buying. She wouldn't be a New York Times bestselling author if women in general, a large population of women didn't have this as a fantasy on some level.
Well, I have another theory about why romance is why it's New York Times bestselling. I think that there are a lot of books that you can take out of the library or that you can pass around. But I think when there's intense sex, when there's descriptive sex, I think people are, don't want to like, oh, hey, I'm going to lend this to my niece. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, or they maybe don't want people to know like the depths of what, because you could take this like cover on a plane and nobody knows that you're reading hot sex.
No.
It's not like if you take 50 Shades of Grey or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, I know what you're reading.
Yeah.
You filthy animal. But you can take this and it's just like, oh, it's a woman on a pirate ship or something
like that.
Whatever. Yeah. I think that it's just a genre that people actually purchase instead of share and borrow from the library or
interesting,
whatever. Or they're obviously not getting it at school or whatever. So I think that this is just one that people actually purchase because I am a purchaser of books, but I get most of my books from the library. This was not available on the audio books section at the library, although some of her books are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I think.
Be interesting to hear it read to you.
Yeah.
He thrust his hand up her bustier. Okay. It's not how I would have read it in my brain, but okay. But anyway, I think that's really, I think it's really fascinating that this is some kind of deep, maybe it's some kind of like genetic piece of being a woman, because if you think biologically about how you're supposed to procreate, you think about cavemen and women, you know, there's some piece of it that is how it works. You know, think about it. 2 dogs that the woman dog is not like, I'm empowered, please take me. The woman dog's like, I'd really rather you not put that in my vagina. And the boy dog's like, oh, you're getting it. And that's nature. That's not anything. They don't have the psyche to go, I am a woman, hear me roar, don't touch me. That's just how nature works. Don't touch me. And have you ever seen 2 cats screwing? It's the most disturbing thing ever, because the female cat does not want this to be happening, for sure. And so I wonder if it's some deep genetic piece where that being dominated by a male is fulfilling, is
but it also
right
just be
in some
it
way.
may be a reaction just to the way that we're socialized, that now it's like women are expected to have it all, to do it all, to raise the kids and to, you know, have a career and to be just to sort of be everything to everyone. And so the idea of just throwing your hands up and going like, take care of me, do what you will. I don't have like, my equivalent of that is like, you know what? You make the reservations for a restaurant. You decide what we're eating tonight.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I want to be domineered at 5 p.m. Somebody else fucking deal with dinner. That's what I want. Like, that is my fantasy. Right? Someone,
Totally.
my husband, I want you to come in and be like, this is it. I've got dinner. And be like, oh my God.
I love you so much.
So
Richard and I have
fantastic.
argued like every year at my birthday. He's like, where do you want to go for your birthday? And I'm like, we've been together for 21 years.
Right.
Let me make this abundantly clear. What I want, the fantasy that I have, is for you to make the reservations and take me there. I don't want to make another decision. I feel like I'm making life or death decisions.
I know.
All day, every day, whether it's about school stuff or medical stuff for the kids, whether it's home stuff. Like, there's just so many decisions in a day. It's not like when we were younger, there was like Lee or Levi's.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like there's
Until Sergio Valente showed up.
yes,
and Jordache.
and Jordache and Calvin Klein
and Gloria Vanderbilt. And,
yes.
but then it's
And
still
then
only
it
like
just-
5.
Exactly. But then it exploded. Now, I mean, if I want a new pair of jeans, it's like even in one store, even if I just go to the Gap, there are like 35 different styles of jeans, and I am overwhelmed.
I agree.
And so I wonder if some of it is that
Just
of
the
just like
simplicity.
decision fatigue and going like, take me, do what you want.
I could totally see that, right? I could see that.